Hey everybody, it's Matt from the house. I'm here with Jayson from Burton, and he's going to run us through the women's binding ladder from Burton for the 22-23 season. Let's check these out. All right, coming in at $180, we have the Citizen, which is probably one of the best-selling beginner intermediate style bindings.
But yeah, you get into the Citizen, true women-specific design, but just like all the other bindings, we do have the reflex base plate. It is the polycarbonate, so it is a pretty soft binding. So when you're riding like those stylists, hideaways, if you don't like a real stiff binding, the Citizen's a good option. It says the injection molded React strap, just a single piece. But what's nice about the injection molded straps is that there's no waste. They're more comfortable. They don't soak up water.
Yeah, and this is basically kind of the testament that you don't have to add padding to make your straps comfortable. You just have to shape them right. Again, for that beginner intermediate style rider, nice, easy, smooth feel, the Citizen is definitely your binding. Jumping up to 230, we've got the Scribe. So similar to the Citizen, but a little bit quicker reaction on this thing. We're definitely getting a big upgrade, especially in the high back of this one.
Yeah, so you go to the Scribe high back, a little bit stiffer material, so that's going to give you that, that stiffer, or that quicker, heel edge response, quicker adjustability, reflex base plate, still a polycarbonate, kind of bomb-proof base plate there, but the injection molded straps, in a true women-specific design.
And this binding is basically going to be, again, kind of for those beginner intermediate riders, but even some of the advanced riders who maybe are riding the park and want that little bit smoother, easier, park feel, then that's where this binding comes into play.
Yeah.
All right, so coming in at $290, we have probably the most popular binding in the women's lineup of bindings for Burton, the Lexa. This binding, we're getting a big upgrade in the base plate, and we're getting a big upgrade in the strap on this one in an all mountain, go anywhere, do anything killer.
Kind of similar to like what the Cartel would be for men. This would be the women's counterpart. So it does go to the 30% glass loaded nylon material in there. So what that does is create, a much more responsive toe and heel edge feel to it. Also the hammock strap, it does have the hammock on the outside that shapes around your boot, but then allows your boot to kind of roll and float in there so you don't get any pressure points, but then you've got your kind of connecting spine there. So that's where your response comes from. Also a little bit cleaner, looking high back.
So this binding is, again, more of that intermediate to advanced rider, and you're basically looking for a little bit quicker feel from edge to edge and still want that ultimate comfort. All right, next up, coming in at $330 for those girls that have been maybe riding the Lexa for the last few years and want something kind of like next step up, we've got the Lexa X. So a lot of good features on this.
Yeah, so you head to the X, so it doesn't necessarily mean that just because it's X, it's stiffer.
Right.
It just has a little extra in it. Same base plate as far as the materials go with the regular Lexa, but you go to this, you get the hammock and the high back. So again, what that does is it wraps around the backstay of the boot, gives you better grip on the backstay, so you don't have to crank your straps down as tight, better comfort. You go to the ASIM strap on this one, a little bit more lateral mobility there, so you don't get quite as much pressure on your feet there. Then you also go to the double take buckles. So again, double take, they engage a little bit smoother, and then also they're just a lot smoother. As you crank, you get like 3 teeth that are engaged, so you just get smoother buckles. And then you go to Super Grip Cap Strap 2.0, so then that has the rubber overlay in there. So this will definitely grip the different finishes and shapes for the boots. So a little extra gel in the heel. So again, it's not necessarily stiffer, you just have extra comfort and performance features.
All right, and last up, coming in at $380, we have the Escapade. So this thing is kind of got all the bells and whistles. It's an all mountain, go anywhere, do anything binding that fits your boot like a dream.
Yeah, so this is definitely the most comfortable binding in the line. Not that any are uncomfortable, but I'd say that this one is definitely has the most comfort features to it. A little larger React strap, so larger surface area, displaces that pressure over a larger area, but a softer hammock on there too. Just we can play with the different durometers of the plastic, really create basically a pressure-free strap. Still the double take buckles with the new Escapade high back. Again, we got rid of the rivets there, so less failure there. The idea of having this kickback hammock is that this thing just moves with your boot. So it's kind of like you're just standing in the binding, but when you go to turn, like you don't feel anything, you don't get any pressure points, but when you actually go to turn, that's where the external high back kicks in. And then also in the footbed in this too, it's a pretty unique bed. It's the only footbed like this in the line. It's called the pod bed. So you kind of have like this kind of polycarbonate, kind of tray over the top of different densities of these pods that are on the inside of the binding. So it's like kind of riding on these pods, and it just allows your foot to kind of cant and move around in there until you get to a certain point, and then that's where it gets really responsive.
So it kind of smooths it out,
but still responsive.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, Jayson, thanks for giving us a little run through of the women's bindings from Burton for the 22-23 season. If you got any questions about any of the stuff we talked about in this video or any of the Burton products, feel free to leave some comments down below. We're on there every single day trying to answer your questions. We want to make sure that we get you into some rad gear, but most importantly, we want to make sure it's actually going to fit you and it's actually going to fit your riding style. Also, make sure to like, subscribe, definitely get that notification bell on too so you can find out when all the new videos drop. Make sure to grab yourself a pair of new Burton bindings and get out and ride, because any day of riding is a good day of riding.